What you want.
Meanwhile, of course, the big news away from La Liga today is that Cristiano Ronaldo is heading to Saudi Arabia. Reports that he's penned a new deal with Al Nassr, which is worth $200 million a year, the biggest contract ever in the sport. Your reaction to this, Craig?
I have to say, not a surprise, but hugely disappointing. I think everything he's done recently has been hugely disappointing, including his performances on the field. But that's maybe what you come to expect more when somebody's about to turn 38 in a month or 6 weeks as he is. But for a guy who apparently has management championed this, Man United don't respect me, Man United should be using me more, Man United manager hasn't got a clue, why am I not playing? To then end up in effectively a backwater of world football. Obscurity. It's telling you either two things, that one, it was always about the money for him and he would not cut his losses, he would not go to one of the bigger European clubs and play the Champions League, which he said, I want to leave United. It's Champions League, it's notoriety, it's success, it's stats, it's been remembered for achieving stuff. Well, you'll not be remembered for anything apart from taking a few gazillion dollars from Saudi Arabia. So yeah, good luck to him. He can go there and pocket as much cash as he wants, but ultimately he wanted Champions League and he's got football obscurity.
Luis?
Yeah, I'm surprised a little bit. I wasn't expecting Cristiano Ronaldo to make that move. I understand, of course, what is behind. I understand the money is important, much more when you're in the end of your career. I think that he's going to be remembered to one of the best players in the history of football, ending in a team that maybe no one was expecting him to watch him play. And it's a disappointment. No, I'm not disappointed, but I think that if you want to make a statement, you always been a personality that try to show that you've been at the highest level. I remember when he said, to Messi, you have to come here, you have to challenge yourself to the best leagues. If you stay in one league, it's not going to be the same. He's been a character that he's been trying to show that he's been always, or he could be always the best one. So if he's trying to now make a statement, say, I'm going to be the player who earns the most in the history of football, okay, I think that's fair to say that I think he got that record. But I don't think that it was the right move. At least the way that I see football, the way that I'm not in his position. Of course, very difficult to say, but definitely I was expecting for a player like him to make a different move in favor of football and of the supporters.
Nobody has validated his recent form and tantrums more than the player himself. He has completely validated everything that Erik ten Hag stood for as the new manager, in terms of his lack of game time, in terms of not even bringing him off the bench. Then we saw it from Fernando Santos in the World Cup, and we saw sort of the reaction there and what the Portuguese manager thought he needed. And I'm never, ever, ever, ever begrudge anybody if they want to go and take a few quid and finish the career. That's fine, but he has made so much money and still makes so much money from all his social media and the advertisement and everything that goes with it, that, come on, nobody is going to bat an eyelid whether they play and he plays 4 times a week.
Yeah.
He scores a hat-trick in every game.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to care.
Yeah,
Nobody is going to even bat an eyelid about it. And I thought all this time what he wanted was to finish and be in the limelight.
Yeah.
And he's completely gone in the opposite direction.
Craig's right, isn't he? It doesn't matter what he does there, Sid. You take a look at a pie chart of what we normally talk about on this show over the last year. Messi, Ronaldo, Shepherd's pie. Ronaldo now is pretty much out of that conversation because whatever he does won't resonate.
I love the fact that we're using the Steve Nicol measurement for this, by the way, that shepherd's pie is the way to judge who's the best player in the world right now and how relevant their careers are. I mean, look, obviously, if it's difficult for Steve and sorry, for Craig and for Luis to judge this, who've played the game, it's even harder for me. And I certainly wouldn't begrudge any player taking the decision that they want to make. But admittedly, yeah, from the point of view of the, if you like, the kind of the discourse from Ronaldo and the sense of his own relevance and the sense of his own place in the game, it's a surprising move. That said, I suppose maybe it comes back to that question of who wanted him and at what price, and were there really the options there for him to take an option that he felt would maintain that level of importance, of significance, of relevance within the European game. Maybe there was no one there that kind of made him feel, OK, this is an opportunity for me to demonstrate something, for me to do something. Even if it's, for example, and I really am obviously kind of, let's put it in my own, if you like, bias terms. As a Real Oviedo fan, for example, I love the idea of Cristiano Ronaldo going to a second division club and bringing them up to the first division and really proving a point that way. I don't believe for a minute that he would have ever wanted to do that. But those kind of challenges clearly have either not been available to him for financial reasons or he's just not interested in them. And yeah, it does feel like a bit of a pity for it to end this way. Maybe part of the answer here is that this is just a way of making sure it doesn't end at all. Because I guess if the alternatives are just not that attractive, then the alternative becomes, do you just retire? And perhaps he just doesn't want to yet. Right,
there's a couple of ways to look at this from elite level European football. And I'm not suggesting, because I would be hypocritical to what I've just said, that he was capable of doing that still at that level. But certainly in his head, he thought that was the case. Now, either he's gone, his representatives, Jorge Mendes and his colleagues have gone to the clubs and said, could have said, listen, here's the deal. We'll come in for a pittance. We'll play for a cut price deal, but incentivised by his performances, right? Now, either they've done that and almost everybody's gone, no, no thank you. He's a problem. And we don't know if we're going to play him. We don't know if we need him. And even at that, it's not going to be a huge financial outlay. We're not going to do it. Or B, they've gone to all those clubs and went, do you want this guy? It's going to cost you X amount of million. And they've definitely gone, no. Yeah. So it has to be one or t'other, because he hasn't just gone there because he doesn't fancy going to one of these clubs and play in Italy and Spain or Germany or England or wherever it is and play elite level. They've either gone round and offered them up to everybody with one of those deals. Either he's still pricey and he's still going to cost a lot, or we can do it in an incentivised way. Either way you look at it, nobody's taking him.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.